What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome aboard to Trading Live with Bubba. And Tuesday we split. We had a winning trade in the Russell and a losing trade in the crude. Got a couple of open trades that are in good shape right now. One of the big problems we're dealing with in these markets is high volatility, lack of volume, which means lack of liquidity. Makes it much tougher. But as we take a look, is there anything for us to do right now? There's a potential sale in crude here we could look at if we wanted to right now, which I think we will. Let's take a look at it and see, and go ahead and take it right now. And your stop is going to be at 63.36. 63.36 stop. Okay, I'll get my orders in to buy them back. Okay, and the notes are a little thin, so we'll wait there. Euro currency, a potential trade right here as well. I'll wait for a red signal. The stop would be 114.26. 114.26. If we get a trade here, we'll see. But again, the biggest problem I see is lack of liquidity with too much volatility. So it makes it much more challenging to trade. But again, if we find opportunities, we'll take them. And still got to wait for this bar to close because we're still going up, which is fine. The stop is actually now going to change to 114.27. But you can see not a lot going on in general. So again, but 114.27. Actually, I can put my stop in now. I'm hanging out and waiting. I'm not worried about it getting away from me. And it looks like we're going to get a trade here. Okay, there's a little bit too much blowback here, so we're gonna pass the euro currency. Too much of our potential profit is already gone. So we just have the crude open. And let's see anything else developing. Maybe the notes, maybe the 10-year notes would be a trade. Let's see what they look like. Stop would be 111.07. 111.07. We don't have a trade yet, but 111.07 would be the spot. But I think, as I told you the other day, look for gold to sell off. It did sharply, up a little bit this morning. But I think that the equities are just about reaching the peak of where they're going to go. A little room to go, but I don't think a ton. And as we wait for the notes potentially, well, they're not going to be on this bar. So let's take a look at some of the other things that we do watch. Apple remains in the middle of nowhere, nothing to do. Now we do have some earnings coming out today. So again, that's going to change some of our thought. Amazon came all the way back. We never had a chance. We were looking for it to blow back a little bit farther. Never gave us any opportunity. Coin is at our $200 level here. Certainly I would be looking at this, and if I were going to trade this, I would look at potentially selling spreads for tomorrow. Let's see what it looks like. And the right account so I don't screw myself. Okay, and the 202.50, 205. If you could get a buck for that, I would take it. 205.50, 205 for a buck. I would take that. It's not there right now. It's about 90 some cents. Oh, it did fill it. It already filled it $1. Okay, there you go. Filled it a buck. Okay, not a problem. And crowd, which is up past our $400 target. I'd watch this for a while, but I'd be looking to take care of this one as well. Let's see what we got in crowd. Actually, let me go back here so I don't miss a trade while we're hanging out. No, nothing to do. Okay, so crowd is let's see, 407.50, 410. I would take that shot at $1.25, 450, 407.50, 410 at $1.25. Meta, nothing. Google earnings today, we're not going to play that either way. IWM, nothing. Microsoft, nothing. But again, it did bounce as we thought. Again, we had no chance to get in. We didn't have a lot of trades. MSTR, which is one of our winning trades from the other day. Nugget, which I told you to go ahead and sell, it did come down. NVIDIA, we didn't get in, but it did bounce as we expected. We didn't have a lot of stuff the other day. The Qs, middle of nowhere. Let's just go make sure we're not missing anything here. And the 10-year is, we're going to now pass the 10-year. It has lost any reason for us to go ahead and trade it. Our crude is a small winner at the moment, but we're still in, so it's not cashed. SMCI, I did say pass it. I said it would be a buy, but I would not trade it. It's too narrow, and it's still too narrow. Again, so a nice little pop, don't get me wrong, but not much to do here. XYZ, not much to do. SPY, nothing to do. Tesla, nice rally right off the bottom, but we couldn't trade it because of earnings. Win, nothing to do. And Zoom. Zoom I would look at, but now Zoom is in a very precarious position. If it closes above the 200-day, you probably get a continuation of the rally. You know, where a lot of our indexes, and this is what I'm really looking for, is for the S&P needs about another 300-point rally, in which I would be a welcome seller. The NASDAQ needs about another 1,000-point rally. Again, you know, they didn't get there. They're pricing in those kind of movement. And, of course, that's where I'd want to be a seller, right at their 200-day moving averages, because in the old theory, the bears lived below. So the rally was not surprising. We suspected we'd get a rally, and we're getting it. So let's see if we can now get away from it and actually benefit from what's going on. And that's what we're working for. Again, there's really not a ton going on right now that we can actually trade. We are in crude, which is right about where we got in. So again, it's not, this isn't, you know, it's kind of quiet, kind of lack of activity in these markets. So what are you going to do? You're not going to force them. There's no point to force them. Okay. And it's a shame we missed our euro currency trade. It's really crumbling right now, but hey, that is what it is. Again, you can't get them all. And anytime you think you can, you find yourself in a world of hurt. So again, I wouldn't get, you know, overly aggressive. Here is not the market. When you're missing and you're lacking some liquidity, I don't think you want to get too overly involved or too quickly. I think you just rather let it sit. It'd be nice if we could get something in the in some of the indexes here, but we're not getting that panic buy, that chase up. So once again, you got to just sit back and wait for it. But overall, again, it's a quiet story, and I think you have to learn to be able to be patient enough to wait for the opportunities you're looking for. I mean, there's different types of trades you can use. Certainly, if you understand the ratio trade I like to do, I would sell the micro futures in the NASDAQ. I'd sell 6 of those and buy the at-the-money calls for next week. But that's just a trade that I like to do. Puts me in the market. I've got a number of those trades open in different products. But overall, it's just kind of musty and quiet right now that, you know, there's not much action for us to get involved in. You know, again, remember, the speed of the market, the speed at which things move is really what we're looking for. And when they're lacking speed, that means you're really lacking overall opportunity. So, to try to get aggressive here, I think would be a fool's errand. Because I don't have anything that's signaling to me that I should be making any trades here. You've got volume falling off every minute. So, once again, we did fill on coin, have not filled on crowd yet. And we'll see if anything else comes in here. And our crude is dead even right now. So again, I would have expected if it was going to work, usually these trades, if they're going to work, they work pretty quickly. We're fine. We're not in danger. Got a small profit now, but usually the speed should push them, in the direction you need them to go. That's why we make those trades. They're very high probability. And of course, hey, we're sitting here, with very little action, very little going on. You are starting to get a little bit of a profit in it. And you may be should be getting close to getting one off. Okay. I'm going to give you a recommendation here. If you took the trade, go ahead and put your stop at break even. I'm no longer interested in holding this trade. If it doesn't work, certainly it can go lower, which would be fine. Okay. I just got stopped out with a small profit. I'm trading the big one. So I just made $50. Okay. But again, I'm not recommending you trade the big ones. I think the micros are good to learn off of. But I'm not interested in holding it anymore. So I just took the small money and said, okay, thank you very much. Goodbye. Just because of the lack of activity, the lack of speed here. That makes it a lot more challenging. It makes it harder. And, so why should I, put myself at risk when the lack of opportunities are there? You can see the NASDAQ. Maybe the NASDAQ will give us a sale here. I don't know. Listen, I'd like it to give us one. That would be good. Certainly exploding. So that would be nice to, if we could just get a straight run up. It's up almost 400. So we'll see. Again, you have no volume in any of these markets right now. This goes back to the liquidity. You got high volatility, low volume means lack of liquidity. Okay. So again, we'll sit here and look at it and see if it shows. But it's really not. You need another push up here on some heavy volume. That would give us a reason to get involved. And you can see our crude that we made a little bit of money on is just sitting there. Okay. And again, what's the point? That's always one thing you want to remember is, again, if you can't get the edge, why try to force one? Okay. So once again, we'll watch and maybe we can get one big explosion here to the upside and sell it, or a big push to the downside and buy it. In the meantime, where they're trading now, I don't want anything to do with it. Dow has made a pretty interesting reversal today from down. It's now on its highs. It's had a 600 point swing, 700 point swing, but it's not giving us anything to do. There's the difference. It has had a big swing, but it's not giving us a trade to make. Okay. So that's something that we have to, watch as well. Again, obviously I hate to be here boring and telling you that there's nothing to do, but you can see for yourself, and I hope you get it. And if you have any questions, it's always a good time to ask any questions you may have. I know there's a chat feature there, and you can check out my morning update every morning that I send out. I did say I expected a rally today, and we were lower when I made this morning's update, and we did get a pretty big rally. I can't say I expected this rally, but we did get a rally. Okay. Maybe, again, it's going to be hard to want to get involved here because you just don't see overall. And of course, we did stop out on our crude a little bit early because now it is profitable. I mean, we made a little bit, but it's now actually would have hit at our first target. So, but that's life. That's what you do. You got to make a decision. The key thing about trading is being able to make a decision. Okay. And I don't have any decisions to make right now. Okay. As we sit and watch the paint dry here. I think it's important for you to understand, that sometimes there's just not much to do. And this has been more the rule than the exception recently. But, what can I tell you? There's just not enough volume. Which means there's not enough emotion to the market right now. And without emotion, it's harder for us to make money. So we just have to be patient enough to wait for the opportunities to show. I mean, certainly I could justify a trade in a NASDAQ if I wanted to. I just don't have any interest because I don't have as big of an edge. So again, I ask you always is why would I want to get involved? The 10-year is dried up. So even though it would be a potential trade, why do I want to get there? And this is what you got to look at. These are always things that you need to be cognizant of. Certainly the S&P is very close. I'm not totally enamored, but I'll take a look at it and see what it looks like. The stop would be 54.90. Actually, 54.91 would be the stop, and if we would get a trade there. But again, you're really not getting much movement here at all. So do you really want to get involved? And my answer is no. I'll let it go. Are we getting something potentially a potential buy? Nope. Again, you're not getting much anywhere. I mean, there's really a very little movement here. Very little movement, which makes it all that much more challenging to trade. And you're now going into consolidation. Instead of getting the moves down, which you would expect, you're getting consolidation. So again, that's just a sign that it's going to hold and push higher once again. I'm not interested in buying it here, but again, I'm not going to chase it into a market that does not appear to be ready to break yet. Gold is starting to go under some pressure, but again, there's no action, there's no volume. We did miss a nice trace in euro currency, but again, you have to be disciplined enough not to take the trades that don't qualify exactly how you want them, especially in the market conditions that we're watching right now. So sit there and watch and wait, and maybe we'll get a buy in the euro currency now. Always a possibility. But notice these haven't moved. The indexes haven't moved. And the euro currency is going to be close. There's a potential buy now. See if that'll show up, but I don't think we're going to be here long enough to see it. So I would just say be careful. There's a lack of liquidity in this market. There's not a lot to do. So I would just tell you to be very careful here and, not get too overly involved. Let's see here. So the euro currency is going to be a potential trade. If you're not sure what to do with it, then don't trade it because it might be a trade right before we leave. But certainly I don't want you to get yourself in a jackpot if you're not understanding what we're doing. We did put on one spread that closed. I mean, I didn't close it, that we actually got executed on. So, and until next Tuesday, have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.